Welcome guys to another edition of Chilltime. This time, powered by Exitlag, and of course, being a member of Over, as you guys can see in the bottom corners. Now, with Chilltime today, it's been a bit less calm. Hasn't been a lot of, controversy, players getting banned and whatnot. It's been, a relatively quiet week in that regards, but it's been a very, very active week in the Mountain Dew League, in the ESL, other areas, and also the transfer market as well. And, well, let's just get started, shall we? Let's just talk about it. We got Faze picking up, Faze losing Niko to G2. We got, Fire plus Phoenix sniffing around Godsent, thinking they're going to take a roster from there. And we got a few removals as well. Now, we got a few tournaments that have been done as well, and also got we got even contracts being broken as well. It's actually quite a hectic evening this evening. But anyway, let's get into the first news site. And well, this is an interesting one because this lends to the theory that Fire plus Phoenix are sniffing around Godsent at the moment. So basically, there was an article in HLTV previously that Fire plus Phoenix were looking for a team for Flashpoint and are looking at the Godsent roster. And this puts a bit of fuel to the flame here as Godsent has pulled out with the European squad, just in case you guys are wondering. And it's also reported as well that they're targeting Zen to replace Aerial. So that's what happening pretty much is Zen's going to leave Godsent to join Ents. So, because basically Aerial, I think, is now in Harvey, I think it is, or is it X7 in Harvey? I'm not terribly too sure, but Zen's being targeted, and obviously want to go to a Finnish team like Ents, probably a good enticement. Also as well, like Godsent, or not Godsent, but Fire plus Phoenix were sniffing around as well. Now it lends to the rumors of it as well. No, that's right, X7's in Harvey, that's right. It's one of those guys, but either way, as well, essentially, Ents are having, Godsent are having Fire plus Phoenix circle around them as well. So just in case you guys are wondering, they're, Fun plus Phoenix for Flashpoint, so they're trying to look to get Godsent in as well. And they have withdrawn from the IM New York, and Amiga will replace them in the close qualifiers. I think Amiga did lose to them in the end, because they lost in the open stage, so they'll be in the close qualifiers in the end. So I'm not terribly too sure what's going to happen there. I reckon Fire plus Phoenix will probably pick up the Godsent roster. Fire plus Phoenix are a much bigger org. They've got, I think they've got a Dota 2 team. That's why they probably, have come into Flashpoint because of that link, with Dota 2, and probably with one of some organizers of Flashpoint as well. And it's always good to see a new org in the scene. Very, very good to see, especially in the CSGO scene, given that a lot of orgs are leaving to other games and finding Valorant being the new flashy and sparkly thing and trying to build a team in that. Now, next one's giving up is going to be Deadly's MIBR. Kind of expected. He's been banned. He's banned from multiple events because of the coach bug. And I'm going to say now that he's not going to get anywhere in MIBR at the moment. And he's going to go do his own project, I believe. He's putting out a new team and involve, 6 more people. I'm not terribly too sure what this new team is going to be. I'm not terribly too sure, but I think this is probably a given the fact that Dead was banned for over a year. I don't see many teams keeping their coaches that are banned for over a year. The 3 months they keep their coaches, for Hunden, for example. But anyone over 6 to 12 months, they're not keeping them. They're moving them on. And Dead's probably one of the last ones to be moved on in the end. Now, my opinion there for Dead, I'm not sure if it's going to be CSGO related. I think it might be Valorant related, given the fact that he's going to be sitting out quite a long time in CSGO. Can't be near anyone and stuff like that. And talking about coaches being, moved on, Zona's actually found himself at Faze, and Faze got into a bit of a scuffle with Richard Lewis over it as well. Which, if you guys don't know, Faze did pick up Zona. I'm going to find that tweet at the moment. But they did pick up Zona, and well, a lot of people were a bit, shocked about it, that Zona did join the org in the end. And a lot of people, including myself, were like, why? Question mark. And there was a bit of a Twitter about it as well. Just trying to find it now, where Faze actually went really hard. Yeah, Faze was Zona was the hard Legion coach. They got 56-month ban. And they went pretty hard, I'm going to say. They went very, very, very hard at Richard Lewis over it. So I'm trying to look for the tweet at the moment. Do you think Zen's going to move to Ents or no? It really depends on how Fun plus Phoenix are going to roll with it, to be honest. How Fun plus Phoenix are going to roll with it. Are they going to purchase the entire team? or they're going to let Zen walk and try to pick up another player. I'm not entirely too sure what's happening there. So I'm just trying to find the tweet from Richard where Faze actually really do go after Richard. It's actually the first time I've seen an org aggressively go after someone, like aggressively, like, you know, start tweeting at a person. I've never actually seen that before. Like, it's actually kind of crazy, I'm going to say, that Faze went pretty hard. And where is it actually? I'm trying to find where Faze do go off at Richard. I think they've deleted it actually. I'm not totally too sure. But anyways, I don't think they've got it. But what happens here is that, you know, talking about coaches, we're going to put that back to the website. But yeah, Faze picked up Zona, and this is a questionable decision, which I don't understand, to be honest. You got a coach who's banned for 36 months from CSGO, and who is, you know, not to mention, he actively used a cheat, got a 36-month ban, and he only used a cheat for a month, okay? A month. Like, you look at all his violations, replies, why? Oh, dude, I replied, why? Like, I don't know. Like, why would you pick him up? The guy is damaged goods beyond belief. Like, 36 months for a coach, okay? He gets banned, literally exploiting the bug non-stop, and you pick him up within probably 10 days of his ban. Like, I don't know why. They need to wait 3 years. He's in the academy team, like School of Faze. Like, he's not associated with the main team at all. They need to really make this clear that he's not associated with the main team. But I have no idea why they picked up Zona, to be honest. There's a lot of better coaches. Ants can't sign 2 players, by the way, for IM Beijing, because then they're not eligible for it. Just in case you guys are wondering. If you ask, there's a question in chat about IM Beijing. Their team eligibility is based on their close qualifier, wouldn't it be? Like, I don't think they can replace players at this point. I just don't understand, to be honest. Like, basically, I think Moses actually really points out the main thing that I'm trying to get at. Like, why would you recruit a person where the person's cheated in a month? Like, he cheated on multiple rounds, on multiple games in a month, okay? Like, it's not just him back in 2017 doing a one-off, you know, camera glitch, messed up. This is, like, a lot of instances of him cheating when he was coaching in Hard Legion. And it amounted up to 36 months, which I'm going to tell you now, which is going to be about roughly 12 matches in May. And I think this sets a kind of a bad standard where a person can essentially cheat non-stop and then still have a job at the end of the day. I feel like should have really taken a break. Like, you know, taken a break and really found himself and get himself, you know, not rehabilitated, but seriously have a hard look at himself, because I don't think people should be extending olive branches to coaches and not production staff, but members of their team that cheats. Not just the good old once, you know, they only did it once and that's it. You know, it's kind of a oven burn. But he did it like 12 times. I don't know why he's getting any sort of opportunity. He didn't show any remorse either, by the way, because he didn't get any of his bans discounted. And, like, Hard Legion's under a cloud as well, because there's 3 coaches from the Hard Legion org that have used the camera bug. You know, it really begs the question. It really begs the question of Faze of what they're doing. Are Faze playing about the coach? No, they're not. The main team has a coach. The coach is LMBT. Okay, that's if you guys are wondering. Basically with Zona, he's coaching the academy team and like not the academy team, but the up and coming prospects. Okay, he's not coaching any Faze team at all. He's basically like Faze have a school like CSGO of up and coming players, and Zona is going to be coaching that. Now, this is where the point where Moses says, like, you know, I can't think of a worse position for a coach. You've got a lot of coaching talent in Russia to get players up to the standard. I kind of agree with that. I don't think Zona is kind of the right option here, because he's one of those guys that did cheat. It's kind of a wrong role model set where like your ethics are going to get twisted rather than made better, where you're not going to have a gentleman's game. You're going to basically find every single edge, even a cheat or exploit, to put yourselves ahead. And that's what the point that Most is trying to get at. I agree with that. I'm like, you can't give a role model like Zona unless he's really, like, you know, felt remorse and redeemed himself as a role model to young players, because it just, you know, rewards the you find cheats and exploits and you abuse them to no end. You know, it's not a good mindset for CSGO, and it's not going to help CSGO grow because a lot of sponsors are going to be like, oh, there's all a bunch of cheats pretty much. Like, there's no gentleman's rule. It's not a fair game. It's a cheats game pretty much. And, you know, that's how I feel about that with Zona being recruited. Anyway, next one we're going to have is we're going to have Faze parting ways with YNK. And this one came out of nowhere. Like, this one came out of nowhere. I'm not sure why YNK... Well, not sure why YNK was... YNK stepped down. And, yeah, I'm not totally too sure about this. I'm a bit puzzled, actually. I have not a clue why YNK stepped down. Like, YNK did a pretty decent job given with Niko in the team. Faze have won without the coach now, Niko now, as IGL. I am not terribly too sure because Niko left KW. Well, I'm just not entirely too sure what the problem is, to be honest. Like, they have a pretty decent team. They've picked up, they've got a, stand in at the moment. I think they might be looking at picking up, Rigon's been picked up by someone else, but they could pick up Rigon. They could pick up a lot of players in here, but, I'm just so confused. Like, they've got great players in here. Brokey, Cold Zero, Rain, KJB, or Kirby. Just so confused about this. Like, I know Faze... Oh, no, that's right. Rigon's in contact. That's right. Wrong player. But I'm just so puzzled about this. I am so puzzled about this. I'm not sure. You lose the IGL, then you lose the coach, and then YNK's like, oh, time to find a new IGL coach. It's like, that's the worst situation a team can be in. I know Faze brought back Olaf Meister. I know they did that. Olaf played pretty well in his first game. But I'm just so confused. I think Cold Zero is in-game leading at the moment, which is the biggest, I'm going to say patchwork team at the moment with Faze. Like, basically, there's no, IGL in that lineup. There's no coach in that lineup. And that feels really weird that, YNK would leave. He'd probably be looking to be the in-game leader, super in-game leader, and trying to basically groom a player to be an in-game leader. Well, groom's probably the wrong word, but probably, help a player become an in-game leader. Rigon's the guy for Switzerland, right? Yeah, he is. He was one of the players that qualified with Hersenova into the major. And this is a bit weird, And also, this comes up to the next article with G2 confirming Niko. Now, G2 did actually make a really good video of getting Niko. And basically, Niko is going to be replacing Amanek, most likely. Rigon is an AWPer? Yeah, he is. He could be definitely a good AWPer, but Rigon's also a good rifler as well. So, yeah, so Niko's going to move to G2, and he's going to go, well, basically he's going to join, I believe, his cousin, but I'm not terribly too sure. I think it's his cousin. I definitely know it's not his brother. I'd be surprised if it's his brother. But he's going to join, G2. Amanek is going to be on the chopping block, and Niko is going to fill his role. And, well, Niko ended a 3-year. Yeah, I thought it was cousin. Got that one right, clearly. And, yeah, basically Niko leaves Faze, and, yeah, now he's going to be in G2. I'm not too sure if that's going to really add to G2's firepower, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not totally too sure. Like, of course, Niko is a great player and all. I'm just not terribly too sure if that'll make G2 better or not. Like, I think G2 will probably be on the on a similar page, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Like, I was thinking those G2 rumors were a bit far-fetched. I was thinking, okay, maybe they won't pick up Niko, because I don't think Niko is probably the best fit for this team, okay, to be honest with G2. Like, I don't think it would be the best fit for this team. But, hey, G2 felt like, they needed Niko. And we'll see how this one pans out. For me, I'm going to think maybe not, okay? I think in the end, G2 will probably stay where they are at the moment. And there won't be many changes in, I think, the Niko option. Personally, I think it's better, but who knows? Okay. Well, I don't think it's too much better, to be honest. But we'll see. But, Amanek was about to be stepped down, given the fact that he hasn't performed quite well in the team at the moment. So G2's hoping to turn the luck around with the new star player. So basically what will happen is that it'll be Jax, Kenyes, Nexa, Hunter, and Niko, with Malik as the coach. And I actually put a really funny video here of G2, and I've got to say, it's probably one of the better videos I've seen for recruiting a player, given that Avant and Chiefs had really interesting videos with, I think it was Hazard acting like Ofnu, And I'm sitting there like when his Hazard's doing the Ofnu acts, I'm going, Ofnu's not that Kiwi, okay? Because I've talked to Ofnu before. Like I had Ofnu in my raid, and he doesn't sound that much of a Kiwi, okay? Like I think he overdid it there. And Hugh, the door was never locked to begin with, kind of thing. That's with Avant and Chiefs, just in case you guys are wondering with the intro press, but this one was actually really, really good. I'm not sure if I can play this, given that will get copyright as well. The best G2 video is the video with the bomb, if you've watched it. Oh, you mean the defuse, when they don't defuse the bomb? That was pretty good, actually. Astralis likes this, by the way. Next one, we're going to have Heroic. And Heroic win, they proved that DreamHack was no fluke by winning another DreamHack and winning a lot of RMR points. And I've got to say, Astralis must be hating this, that Heroic after, I think Niko and Nihome got very, very pissed off at Heroic for beating Astralis at the previous DreamHack. Now they win another DreamHack, and I think we're going to hear nothing from Astralis here, but great work by Heroic, taking down Vitality, especially coming down from the lower bracket. And in the reality of it all, you should see their lower bracket run. Their lower bracket run is quite incredible if I can find it. But, look at this lower bracket run that Heroic have done. Heroic were knocked into the lower bracket, I believe, at the first instance. Look at that. That's quite a lower bracket run. And not to mention, they topped off some pretty good teams. They took down Sprout, Big, North, Nip, Astralis. And that's showing how Astralis are falling behind the new Danish juggernauts of Heroic at the moment. And it just proves that the previous one that they lost, they won with Hunden, and, the cloud of, cheating was over their head. It just proves that Heroic is still a very, very good team. And unfortunately for Vitality, they did everything right, staying in the upper bracket forever, but they just couldn't take down Heroic. And I've got to say, congratulations to Cadian, because Cadian finally, Cadian was in an advanced team about this time a year and a half ago, and now Cadian's back onto the winner's circle, wins against tier 1 teams, then lost to Apex. To be fair, Apex, I'm going to say, Apex are way below where they should be, okay? Way, way below. I can't believe Apex is still in advance. They should be in MDL, considering the players they've got at the moment. Wait, I'm just a bit surprised that Apex is down there at the moment. I should check out EU Advanced later to see if Apex are going to be in Advanced Playoffs. Go see that as well. So next up, we're going to talk about Complexity. Well, as you can see, as you guys pretty much know, is that 100 Thieves have broken up, and Complexity finally take JKS. Well, the main reason why I wanted JKS, I've discussed this so many times before, is to replace Obo. And I can tell you now, JKS is probably going to be a temporary replacement. Maybe 1 or 2 years max, given that JKS is already in the prime of his form. Maybe 3 years potentially. And they'll see what they can get out of Jacob. I don't know, JKS, because realistically they really wanted Obo to be that star player, because they would have kept Obo around for a very, very long time, because he's only 16 and literally shitting on everyone. Now, so basically what happened is that 100 Thieves did withdraw from, 100 Thieves withdrew after IM New York, where 100 Thieves almost won the tournament. I was a bit disappointed with that. I've discussed that in the previous video or previous week, where I was pretty upset with 100 Thieves because I felt like they could have done more with the CSGO team. And I just feel like I'm not sure if 100 Thieves is the org to run an esports team after hearing a lot about 100 Thieves running esports teams. And the running joke that they're just a glorified clothing brand. And I can understand, with the esports scene, I just don't feel like they know how to run it as per se. Because, they're dumping 100 Thieves after a year, dumping the CSGO team. I just feel like there a lot of short-term decisions being made in 100 Thieves on their esports team. Not what they call business. Their core business is completely different. They're doing very, very well there. But I feel with the esports team, it's just very, very short-term decision-making, where they just go, oh yeah, okay, didn't win a major, we're out of here, we're done, kind of thing. And they didn't even cite COVID as a problem. And then someone countered, being it can't be a problem because 100 Thieves are doing very, very, very well, this kind of thing. And what happened was that after they dropped the CSGO team, they bought a league spot in the Call of Duty League. And everyone's, now sussing that they sold the CSGO team, or dropped the CSGO team, to just get a foot in the door for the Call of Duty League. That kind of thing. I know when people say when they play with just BO500 that they probably timed it as BO1, so please stop. it was like 4 games, but then again, I got to tell you now, like, some of the top teams do lose to worse teams. It happens quite a bit. Like, if you're going to talk about Heroic there, like, it does happen. It does happen. We're a lower team who studies Heroic inside and out, and Heroic's going to be like, we just won DreamHack Open Fall. We could probably just, fall asleep like this and just cruise by Apex, and then Apex literally counters all their strategies and shits on them. It happens. Like, it always happens. Like, where the underdog team probably doesn't get many looks at, not demos, not research to fullest, because they know they can probably beat this team on paper with the players they've got. It does happen. Anyways, the next one's going to be the more drama-filled one. It's going to be, it was a default win, Lucas. Vitality had 1 coming from the upper bracket, so it's 4 maps. Just in case you're wondering. So, another one is, Cloud9 terminated the contracts of JT, Motum, Sonic, and TC for COVID violations. However, OCE remains under contract with Cloud9, which is quite interesting. I am going to say, basically, these 4 players were all, and the coach, of course, were all housed together. OCE was in his own apartment. So I'm very, very confused about why would they do this, okay? Because JT, TC, and Sonic are on visas in America, and they've got to find a paid team in NA within the next 30 to 60 days. Otherwise, US immigration is going to be kicking them out. Now, I think Motum is fine, because I'm very sure Motum is not a South African. And he could be in trouble as well, potentially, as well, because he's got no team to really go to. Now, this is what I don't get, is that... I don't get at all. It's... Why would you break your contract? And not to mention, this is a story about... As you guys can see here, it's a story about 5 days ago. And these guys haven't signed off an org. And I just don't understand. Why would you break your contract like this? And yeah, it was a violation of inviting unauthorized guests during the COVID-19 pandemic. So said the incident led to termination of contracts, and they violated it previously, by the way. They received a lot of warnings as well. And yeah, pretty much was the second time they messed up. Who's the RGL on Faze? Is Cold Zero, I believe. I think it's Cold Zero. And yeah, so what happens was that, so they all gone now. They got to find new accommodation. And yeah, so I just don't understand. I really don't understand why they would do this. Not mention, like, they've lost all their money. Like, if there was any payouts that they would have received at the end of the contract, they've lost that already because they've violated their contract. And I don't even understand it. OC probably being the smart one, because he lives in a different area. So, like, this is what I see here. Like, South Africans expire in 30 days. And they got to be paid as well. Like, they can't be... Like, they can't... They have to be paid when they join an org. Otherwise, their P1 visas will send them back to South Africa. They should buy Valde from OG as IGL. I don't think OG is going to let any of their players go, to be honest. Let's be real. I don't think they're going to let any of their players go, especially, with the players they've got at the moment. Like, I think they're going to keep Valde, in their hands. But I don't think OG want to sell them. But I just don't understand this. Not entirely too sure. And there's obviously Magic Helmet TV going with a big F here. And, well, that's what happens. Now, next up is going to be ESA cancels another global challenge. Kind of expected, given that Europe's going through another second wave, and then America is definitely not going to have anyone, and Australia has pretty much banned all international flights. So, holding a global challenge anywhere is practically impossible. So, another global challenge has been cancelled. They're hopeful to get it, at the end of the year. So, what's going to happen now is that the ESL Pro League, basically, I think what happened is that ESL Pro Leagues have been distributed to North America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. And North America and Europe. So basically the top teams that win it will get an ESL Pro League spot. But Asia and Oceania receive 10k extra as per usual. As per last season, where I think Order received an extra 10 grand. And I think it was Tiger received an extra 10 grand. I'm not entirely too sure who won it. And, basically ESL will be working with ESL to secure the victors from each of these regions and invite to a future event. So just in case you guys are wondering, Order will get, the winner of Oceania and Asia will get 10 grand. And an invite to another event, basically. And, well, kind of expected, again. I'm going to say that, this is going to happen. The thing's nowhere near over. Like, COVID's nowhere near over in the US, nowhere near over in Europe. In fact, it's starting up again. And that's pretty much it, pretty much how the cookie crumbles. Next up, we're going to talk about the ESA Mount Dew League, which is coming to a close in NA. So as you guys can see here, basically, the playoffs are almost done and dusted. Just one playoff spot to play for at the moment. And we've got Eclipse, Incognito, Rugrats, and Russian Canadians fighting over the spot. And I believe the thing should finish tomorrow. And I think there's going to be one game to play. I'm not terribly too sure if they've updated today's games yet, as of yet, but I'm not terribly too sure. But I gotta say overall, New England Whalers being number 1 and Team 1 being number 2. I've got to say, I love the top 3 here. Like, it's going to be a very, very close bracket between these top 3 teams. Maybe Mythic as well. Mythic will probably play... Mythic will play Depth or RBG, depends on who wins here. But, hey, we'll see how well Mythic does in the playoffs. Next up, we've got EU. So, EU's going to be decided tonight, as Namiga plays Team Secret and Namiga plays Nordavent. And most likely, the relegations and stuff have already been decided. I think Namiga will probably make the playoffs. Namiga just have to win against... Namiga has to win 2 games, I believe. Or just 1 game. If they beat Team Secret, they're in. Because they have the higher round difference. Wales lost their first game to Rugrats 16-3. Damn, 16-1 HR. Yeah, of course. Hellraiser got 16-1. Sprout's going to be very disappointed. Because Sprouts, the 2 teams that Sprout lost to, neither of them were Hellraisers, okay? Sprout beat Hellraisers and had that tiebreak. And they lose 2 games and go 2nd place. Realistically, they're going to be versing either Namiga or Team Secret. And I'm going to say for Sprouts, it's going to be quite easy for them to beat either of these teams. Next up, we're going to go with the AU MDL. So the AU MDL finished off with Chiefs at number 1 seed. As I said before, I felt the Chiefs were going to top number 1 seed. Then Avant, then Order, then Rooster, then Paradox, then Vertex, Ground Zero, and Riot, all being in the playoffs, which we did cast the first half of the playoffs today. And then we got Mako, Integral Nation, Aftermind, Rooster 2, Lesse is declared dead, which means the Lakers, the Lakers are in relegation now, so they can fight for their spot, which I doubt will happen. I think Stevens got himself banned, so I'm not terribly too sure what the Lakers are going to do. And we've got Bans, Caught Off Guard, and Forbidden being the other relegatees. And now we've got the finals so far. So Rooster have bowed out of the 0 and 17, stuff like that means the team's dead, and they all their wins they got are losses. So basically, everything's overturned to a loss. Same thing will happen with Lesse as well, that everything they've got will turn to a loss, and teams will get their wins and stuff like that. The ladder won't change, just in case you guys are wondering. Rooster 2 won't be magically relegated, anything like that. Rooster 2 will still keep their spot. So we got the playoffs already. So we got basically the first round of playoffs, which is going to be Chiefs v Riots. Chiefs, won that game. Paradox won a forfeit over Rooster. Rooster have surrendered the playoffs. They're not going to be playing playoffs. They're going to be eliminated. Why it's over unless they ban or in a red zone? Basically, if a team forfeits 3 times, they will be declared dead, okay? And Rooster hasn't been declared dead because they didn't forfeit any games. They played with 4v5 and 3v5, but they didn't forfeit any games, so they would be down there. And neither did Rooster 2. Rooster 2 only had 2 forfeits, just an FYI. So they didn't get that third, they never ever actually got that third forfeit. So it's been kind of crazy. Riot Gaming going through to the second lower bracket. Rooster can't play 3v5. Yeah, they did, because ASAP's power went out. You can start 4v5. You can start 4v5, which they did, but ASAP's power went out. But Rooster never actually forfeited a game. They played 4v5, and then, I think they left after halftime to give the rest of the rounds to, I think it was Aftermind in the end. But in the end, Rooster started to, call it quits, not to bother playing 4v5, and probably looking for their 5th in the future. That's all I'm going to say, probably looking for their 5th in the future. They don't get punished for that. They don't get punished for forfeiting in playoff matches, with the being dead team and stuff like that. They don't get that. Anyways, what else is going to be going on? So, Order beat Vertex pretty quickly, actually. Order beat Vertex so fast, not even kidding, it was so fast that there's no bots, by the way. It's an actual legit 4v5. In is, no bot. I've got to say, overall, Vertex got really beaten quite hard by Order, and the match didn't even last an hour and 30 minutes. By the time I got home, Order and Vertex were finished, which I was actually quite shocked with. Now, on the other hand, Avant beat Ground 0-2-1 on Train. Avant had a very good T-side on Train and just carried it forward. And yeah, we're going to have 3 games tomorrow. Going to be Vertex v Ground Zero, Chiefs v Paradox, and Order v Avant. I'm not sure what game I'll be casting. Maybe Vertex v Ground Zero. Not to be too sure. But we'll see what we come up with. Could be Order v Avant, could be Chiefs v Paradox. We'll see, which team I do want to cast in the end. And I'm going to tell you now, that's going to be it for Chilltime with Jose. Not really much to discuss today at all. And I'm going to say here, like, my parting words is, I think Faze, they got to really get it together and probably look to someone else rather than Zona. Maybe towards Waylander, maybe towards Well Edit. Like, part of the ex-Flipside Tactic teams to coach these players rather than getting Zona, who's not the ideal role model for these players, given the fact that Hard Legion's got a cloud over them as well because of what's happened. But anyway, my opinion, like, with the MDLs, I think New England Railers will take the ESL Pro League spot in NA. I reckon Hellraisers will keep the ESL Pro League spot in EU. And I reckon, as I said before, Chiefs will win the MDL. Like, I reckon Chiefs win the MDL for AU. And yeah, that's my opinions on the playoffs. So the playoffs will be over next week for Chilltime, just in case you guys are wondering. So we can talk about the AU playoffs then. The EU and NA playoffs are actually on in late November, just in case you guys are wondering. In late November, they are over. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about NG. Sorry, not NRG, NG. I actually like their team. They got Exaccurate in their team as well. Like, I was actually impressed when they picked up Exaccurate. They picked up Aircast. We'll see what that team can do, but, I've got a good feeling about that team. Got a really, really good feeling about that team. I think that team is definitely going to go places. That's my opinion. I think it's definitely going to go places. Given that they've got, a lot of good players on that roster. They play in an hour. Okay, I did not know that. Do they play in an hour? Oh yeah, they do too. Double checking. I don't think I have the rights to this match anyway. No, I do not have the rights to this match anyway. So NG's got Engine, Impression, Civic, Aircast, and MIM. Oh, they don't have Exaccurate? Okay, yep. So Exaccurate must not be there yet. It's a bit of a bummer. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me for Chilltime with Jose. Thank you guys for being here once again. Probably not, full of content. Like, it's probably only a few things here and there. I was actually debating at the start of it whether to be like, hang on, should I actually really go for it? Because there was not much news actually. There was not much really news or discussion worthy to really talk about other than the Zona kind of thing. Also, once again, I'd like to thank my affiliates, being of course Exitlag down the bottom right. If you guys need a gaming VPN that is custom made for certain games that will only go online for gaming, while your normal internet connection is going to stay as it is. Basically, look in towards Exitlag. It's a game-oriented VPN service. If you do click the link in the YouTube video, click or type in !Exitlag if you're on Twitch, you'll get my code to it. Basically, it's giving you a 20% discount. You get $5.40 for the first month. 25% of that will go to me, and basically it's supporting me, helping me to help you out with your VPN service. So if your internet connection has a bit of poor routing or getting to certain servers, Exitlag can remedy the problem for you, just like that, just like an instant. It's also got 2 connections as well. So it's got 2 connections. One of them drops out. The second connection will come in automatically. And also at the same time, you can connect to many different server points. So if you want to go to a server in Germany, you can basically VPN it to Germany. Want to get a server in Australia, go to a server in Australia. And that's pretty much Exitlag in a nutshell. Also, I'm part of Ovid as well, which is an esports organization in Australia, which have, ironically dropped their CSGO team. And they have a lot of, Fortnite teams and Valorant teams as well. And their Valorant team actually played pretty well. Actually made it to the First Strike event, I think it is, or the close qualifiers. But we'll see how they go. We'll see how they go in the rest of the events. And with that last question, just in case you guys are wondering, yes, I'll be casting the MDL tonight between Secret and Amiga, and and Amiga v Nordvin. I'll be casting both games tonight. I've already listed down for both. And once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys who are watching on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. You guys are the best. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Bye.